Yeah, AI is just not all the same. And this comparison is certainly not entirely fair either. After all, our PCB component AI can't tell us the time or read out a horoscope. What it can do, however, is check whether all components are present on the board and show us that. And that's despite the fact that we didn't use billions of images for training, but only 35. That's not surprising, because we're taking a completely different approach with our type of AI than ChatGPT. They try to provide an interface through which you can access various AIs that together simulate a kind of all-rounder AI. As a result, ChatGPT can do a lot, but it also can't do many things, or rather, not correctly. We, on the other hand, rely on highly specialized AIs. They can do relatively few things, but the ones they're supposed to do, they do really well. Both certainly have their place, but if you already know what you want from the start, it's actually always advisable to have such a specialized AI, because it usually works faster and, above all, much more precisely. Another big advantage of such AIs is that they are much easier to train. Example. Within, well, maybe 2 hours, I created a dataset consisting of 35 images. Based on that, I was able to train various AI models. One recognizes all components on the board, the other the orientation of the capacitors, and this one recognizes whether the right screw has been placed. A big advantage of AIs is that you can develop them further. You can, based on an existing AI, or rather, its data, create a new AI by enriching it with more data, changing a few training parameters if necessary, and you have a new, improved version. This increases scalability immensely, because work already done was never in vain, but always forms the basis for the next improved version. How easy such a further development is, of course, depends heavily on the type of AI model, i.e., size, complexity, and so on. If, for example, OpenAI wants to train a new version of ChatGPT now, the whole thing devours millions and takes months. With a smaller AI model and more specific ones like the one just shown, let's say an hour to collect the data, 10 minutes for various settings, 20 minutes of training time, after an hour and a half the thing is pretty much done. So specific AIs are not only much faster and more precise, but also more flexible and cheaper. And the downside? Well, they just can't do as much. ChatGPT, for example, has an opinion on which was the coolest dino. And that is admittedly also pretty cool. Although ChatGPT is wrong here again because the correct answer is, of course, Triceratops. Change my mind.